Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Nate Moore Show, on the air with you every Wednesday night. Our show is brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Darren Washington, and with me is Coach Moore. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey Darren, thanks for having me.
Last Friday night, the Tigers beat Akron Firestone for their 6th win of the season. The Tigers are now 6-2. Looking back, what pleased you the most about the win?
Yeah, I thought there were some things that we needed to improve coming off of the loss against Canisius, and I think we got a lot of those things fixed. Anytime you're playing a lesser opponent, it's hard to evaluate those things because of personnel matchups. But I really do think that our guys improved. We're certainly not throwing a party over a victory against Firestone, but I think we made some improvements.
It seems like you're getting many good play out of younger players. How do you feel about that?
It's as we go through the season and evaluate, who are our starters and key backups week to week. We're just looking for who are our best players, who gives us the best chance to win. So I could really care less what grade they are. It's the guys that give us the best chance to win. I think from a fan's perspective, that's probably a neat deal. And once we sit back at the end of the season, that may be something that we look at positively, but right now, none of that really matters to us.
What parts of your team are you most concerned about as we head into the final 2 weeks of the regular season?
Most concerned about?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm the most concerned about is that we're just continuously getting better every week. All phases, all positions. We needed to continue to work, have good practices, study film. We need to be good about studying the game plan. All those things, and keep improving in all phases. And really, at this point of the season, it gets more and more about mental preparation. By now, everybody's in shape. Everybody's had, 8 weeks under their belt to prepare. You really are who you are at this point. The edges that you're going to find are mental and physical toughness and preparation.
With your current 6-2 record, your team would qualify for the playoffs if the season ended today. Do you talk about the playoffs with all of your team?
No, we don't.
In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player and hear more from Coach Moore. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Hi, my name is Michelle Keller.
And I'm Matt Keller, and these are our sons, Vinny and Tommy.
We are supporters of the Massillon City School System.
Please remember that the Massillon City Schools has a renewal levy on the ballot this November 7th, issue 43. This levy was first passed in 2012 and generates $3.4 million for the district. Issue 43 is not a new tax.
Vote yes for issue 43.
Thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining Coach Moore and I is Dion Williams. Dion, what position or positions do you play?
Play left tackle and defensive end.
How old were you when you started playing football?
Probably 8 years old.
Who are your position coaches, and tell us more about him?
My offensive line coach is Coach Mazer. He played for Bowling Green. And my defensive line coach is Coach Simon. He played here, and then he went to Cincinnati and played.
What would you say are your strengths as a lineman?
My technique, and I'm conditioned well and able to play both ways.
How about some areas where you need to improve?
My speed, my strength.
As a lineman, give us your scouting report on St. Vincent St. Mary's offense and defense.
Their offensive line is pretty big. They're pretty good. They're good at what they do. And their defensive line, their two interior guys are good, but their defensive ends are the weakness part of their defense.
Coach Moore, your Tigers are home to play Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's this Friday night. Tell us more about their program and their season so far.
Well, as a program, they're one of the top programs in the state of Ohio. They've won multiple state titles. You know, they've had lots of really good players. They have, Paris Campbell, the slot receiver at Ohio State, a St. Vincent St. Mary grad. So, you know, they've been good for a while. This has turned into a pretty nice rivalry over the past couple of years. I think we've played, probably 6 out of the last 10 years, something like that. So it's good to have somebody that you can prepare against year to year. As far as who they are this year, they're a very good team. They played a tough schedule, similar to what we do. They're good up front on the offensive line. They return 4 starters. They have a returning starter at quarterback. He's a young guy. He's still a sophomore, but he started last year for them as a freshman, and so he's a returning starter. They have a couple really good skill position players offensively. So they do a good job. They're a balanced offense. They throw and pass well both. Run the ball and throw well both. And they've thrown a lot in games where they've felt like that's what they needed to do to win. Defensively, very well coached. 4-3 quarters, spill front defense. We've seen that a couple times this year, and they're pretty good at it. Their 2 tackles are good. Their 2 safeties are really good. They only returned 3 starters from last year's defense, both the safeties and one of the tackles returned. But both safeties are very good. Those are the 2 best players on defense. But they don't have a lot of weaknesses either. They've got good football players out there, and it's going to be a really good game, I think, Friday.
And finally, what do you see as the keys for a Tiger win against St. Vincent St. Mary's this Friday night?
Yeah, we need to run the ball effectively, establish the run, and protect the football. Defensively, I think it's really important that we're sound in all of our schemes and assignments, and that we tackle really, really well.
We want to thank Coach Moore and Dion Williams for joining us on the show today. The Nate Moore Show is brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Darren Washington. Stay with us. Coming up next is Swing, featuring Tiger Swing Band Director Jason Neel. Thanks for watching, and always, go Tigers.
Greatest tradition of high school football rivalry was McKinley-Massillon.
There's an amazing history of tradition.
Both sides take it seriously.
Both Canton and Massillon embrace football being important.
Football is Massillon.
Canton is football.
What football means to the area, it's really the founding of the game.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
One more ride, one more race. We go all out, we don't play. One more ride, one more way. We don't slow down, ain't no breaks. I'ma go off, yeah, I gotta go now.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Swing with Tiger Swing Band Director Jason Neel. On the air with you every Wednesday following the Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you each week by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Jeffrey Higgins, here with Jason Neel to get your show started. So, Mr. Neel, your band performed at the halftime show, Firestone, last Friday night. So tell us more about that, please.
Well, we did our candy show at halftime, and I thought it went really well. The crowd seemed to respond to what we were doing in all the places that we hoped they would respond. Had some good music, and that was our 6th show of the season, and so I was just really proud of the kids that they've been able to not only learn a new show for every home game, but to do so well with it, and a lot of new music. So real proud of the kids and the work they've done this year.
All right. So during the game itself, during the short stretches, how do you determine when the band's going to play?
Well, we like to have our percussion section, our drum line, play a lot during the games, and so we kind of turn it over to them when the Tigers are on defense. And so when the play is going on, we're not allowed to be playing, so we have to wait till the play is over, and then we can play in that short little time in between plays. And we like to have our drums going a lot. They have so many cadences and stand beats that they use that they can do a lot of playing, and that really actually saves the lips of some of our wind players for the show itself, for the halftime show. And we still do a post game at the end of the game, so we don't want to play the entire game, or else we'd have nothing left by the time the show happened. But we also react to what's going on in the game. So if the Tigers do something real amazing, we'll play the fight song. We've got Massillon Will Shine, Stand Up and Cheer, Eye of the Tiger. We've got short versions of all these songs that fit in between the plays. Sometimes we'll play when it's a timeout. Sometimes we'll let the cheerleaders do their thing during a timeout or at the end of a quarter. And then the visiting band, will play. Sometimes we'll even arrange it with them. So there's lots of factors into when we're playing and when we're not. So good question.
All right, so what are your expectations of your students while they watch the game from the stands?
Well, number one, we know that they're high school students and they're here at the game and they've given up so much time to be in the band, and we want them to have fun at the game. At the same time, we want them to represent the band and the school with class. So that's our number one expectation, is that they are being good sports, being positive as they cheer for our team and not against the other team, and representing the school well. But I want all the students to play as a group. So when the band plays, my expectation is that everybody in the stands is playing. Sometimes they'll be talking to their friends and not always paying attention to the game. And not everybody's a football fan, but when the band plays, I expect all the students to be supporting the team and representing Massillon in the best possible light.
All right. We'll be right back after this word from Howard's Tiger Rags.
Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon has the best selection of tiger apparel in the area. And this year, Howard's Tiger Rags is the proud sponsor of the Swing TV show on WHS-TV. Get the latest football t-shirts available in short and long sleeves, along with great-looking hoodies. And don't forget about their infant and toddler apparel. See their large selection of memorabilia, along with mugs and glasses. Need a tiger hat? Howard's has dozens. And see their prom apparel as well. Stop in at Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon and like them on Facebook.
Thank you, Howard's Tiger Rags. So, Mr. Neel, your band performed once again this year at the Buckeye Invitational this year. Can you tell us more about that, please?
Sure. This past Saturday, we took the band down to the Horseshoe in Columbus and performed at 6:15 p.m., which was a great performance time. They had bands, I think 43 bands from all over the state of Ohio were performing at that show starting at 10 a.m. So we had a really good performance time and a big crowd to see our band perform, and we did our candy show as well there. And I'll tell you, the reaction we got from that crowd was just fantastic. And as soon as we were done performing the show, we got to go into the Ohio State band room and talk to, this time it was the assistant band director for the Ohio State marching band, and He gave us some wonderful comments and critique, and just really praised our kids for doing so many shows and doing them so well. And I was just incredibly proud of our students for how well they represented the school and the city down in Columbus on Saturday. They had a great performance. Couldn't be prouder of that day. So thanks for asking.
So your students have performed on a lot of shows over the season. Can you tell us about all of those?
Oh, we've done, that was our 5th band show. So we performed at the Cuyahoga Falls Preview of Bands way back in August. We performed at the Stark County Fair Band Show. We performed at the Jackson High School Band Show. And we hosted our own Tiger Band Review in September, and then the Buckeye Band Show in October. So we try to do roughly 5 shows a year. You know, you could spend every Saturday of the season going to band shows. There's a band show somewhere, but we also don't want to burn our kids out because we're doing so much all season long. So that was our 5th band show of the year.
All right. And finally, can you give us a preview of this week's show with Akron St. Vincent?
Yes. This week is our annual senior show. We'll also be at pregame, we'll be recognizing our seniors by name with their families. 42 seniors. That's one of the largest senior classes we've had in a long time. Just a great group of kids. And we gave them the opportunity to be part of the design of the halftime show. And they picked some songs that they really liked that they've played over their time in band. And those songs are, let's see if I can do this. They picked Respect, Hey Baby, Lil Liza Jane, and Confident. Those are the 4 songs that they've chosen to do, and they've designed the routines. They've choreographed a dance. They've written a drum break. So the seniors have been hands-on this show, and I think they've done a good job designing it. So I hope everybody likes it. It's our annual senior show.
Thank you. All right, we'd like to thank Tiger Swing Band Director Jason Neel for being with us once again on this edition of Swing. Be sure to join us every Wednesday following the Nate Moore Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Higgins, here with Jason Neel. See you next week.
One way up, no way out. I give it all for the family. We stay up, no bailouts. Give it all for the family. Hey, hey, for the family. Hey, hey, all for the family. Family, family, family.
Hi, my name is Martha Grigg, and I'm a lifelong Massillon resident and retired Massillon City School District teacher. When you go to vote on November 7th, please remember that the Massillon City School District has a renewal levy on the ballot, Issue 43. This $8.6 million levy is not a new tax. It will generate $3.4 million for the district and will keep the district out of debt, according to the 5-year forecast. Vote yes on Issue 43.